correct is the botanical name, and it works universally. So it's one language called plant nomenclature. It comes from Greek and Latin in most cases, and I'll just give you this quick rundown so that the plant names are no longer a mystery to you. Don't forget, it's genus and species, okay? Genus is the first word, and the species is the second word, called the epithet. Just by, if you ever drive by my house...
Although they all do have scientific names as well. Okay, so you've got this list called 30 plants, and most of these are on that list. This was an attempt to get 500 or so of our plants that we grow into a manageable number, especially for the home gardener. And we're going to go today down to about halfway through the sheet, down through Ceanothus. Next week, so as far as trees go, I don't know if you have room in your garden, but they're the two best ones for California's home garden, and that would be the coast live oak and the California sycamore. And I'm not being facetious, those plants are 300-400 years old. This one right here is about 30 years old from seed or less, and so you can see that they're quite quick growers as juveniles, and then when they get up to some unimaginable age, 100 years or something like that, they sort of quit growing, as it were. They're replacing leaves and putting on new little branches and sort of increasing in size, but nothing like they do when they're juvenile. Like this one here is called Catalina cherry. It's the next on the list, and it grows wild out on the Channel Islands of Southern California, and it is a true cherry, Prunus, the genus for cherry, and it has this beautiful green leaves, shiny, glossy green. Gets about 25 feet tall or 30 feet tall, very, very fast grower, about 15 or 20 foot spread, so kind of a big teardrop, and is evergreen, puts out a lot of fruit. The fruit does fall to the ground, so you want to put this in an area where it's just dirt down below, or an area that you don't mind keeping swept up in the summertime when the fruit is falling realm. Refugioensis, we've got one here. And Junior's going to help out, thank you, with this plant is a fast-growing manzanita. Many of them are not considered particularly fast-growing, but this one is. It is a species, it's not a cultivar. You can see its name is in lowercase. Arctostaphylos is the genus for all the manzanitas. Refugioensis, back to nomenclature, ensis means from a place. So this is from Refugio, meaning Refugio Canyon up in Santa Barbara. Think the Reagan White House. Western White House for Ronald. The Reagan Ranch is in Refugio Canyon in Santa Barbara County, just north of Santa Barbara, south of Gaviota. And this plant grows in that area and was named for Refugio Canyon. Though it's native there, it does beautifully in gardens here in Southern California, and so we grow a lot of it. And this thing is a classic manzanita, getting 15 feet tall or more in very short order, with beautiful, beautiful brown, red bark. Very, very, very picturesque plant. There's a large one over there by the trail that you can see later. Okay, so, and then Bird Hill, if you go near our office, you'll see one in bloom right now that is just striking. A truly beautiful plant. And the thing about this manzanita that makes the nomenclature altogether confusing, manzanita is the common name for all the manzanitas, for Arctostaphylos. Arctostaphylos, by the way, means bear. No, means arcto. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. I can't remember what it means. Sorry. But the species epithet, the second word for this manzanita, is the word manzanita. So the botanical name of this plant is Arctostaphylos manzanita. Okay. The Bird Hill is the area where this cultivar comes from, which is up in Napa County, just outside Napa Valley. So this one gets about 15 feet tall, white flowers, small tree, kind of a miniature tree. Anyway, those are some of the California Bay, which is a tree not on your list, which the leaf can be used in cooking. It's really, really strong. You can pass that around. Just take a little trip in your mind to Big Sur right there. That's nice, yes, like I'm there. In the redwood forest. But it grows here wild too. There's some in Casper's Park, native in the Santa Ana Mountains, down into the Peninsula Range, into Baja. But its principal range is in the central coast of California, up to about the Oregon border. It crosses into Oregon where those Oregonians call it myrtle wood. It's not myrtle wood, it's California Bay. So we're going to move into some shrubs now. And on the list, we've got the spectacular Mahonia, which I already talked about, the golden abundance, and then Toyon, which is the berry that we're all familiar with in Navidad, the holly. It's called California holly, but it isn't a holly. It's Toyon. The word Hollywood, the name Hollywood came from this plant. It grows in the hills around Hollywood and in the hills all through Southern California. This is an orange, golden berried variety called Julian Gold. I don't think it's such hot stuff. I introduced it. I named it. I'm a real fan of the red berries. I think red is just fine. Thank you very much for Toyon. But there are a couple on the market that have golden berries. They don't turn red. They're kind of oddities. These are grown from cuttings. I found one plant on the Banner grade and took cuttings, and now we grow it, and it consistently does not make red berries but orange berries. So if you want an oddity in your garden, here it is. And there's another one called Davis Gold. Davis Gold gets very, very tall. There's some big ones behind us over there. Those tallest shrubs are Davis Gold Toyon. For me, if you wanted a big Toyon, plant Davis Gold, because it's going to always go upright and going to always be tall. That's the best reason to plant it. The orange berries are incidental, although they are quite nice. Julian Gold stays low, very xeric, can take hot conditions, and has these interesting golden berries. But I want to tell you again, there's nothing wrong with just the plain old red. It's what Toyon really is, and it's a fine, fine plant. It gets about 8 to 10 feet tall typically, about similar spread. Birds love it. List, but it's another prunus. We talked about the Catalina cherry. This is called holly leaf cherry, or Islay is the Indian name, and the botanical name is Prunus ilicifolia, holly leaf cherry. It gets about 8 to 10 feet tall, 6 to 8 more like, equal spread, like a half globe, and is clean, green, shiny, very, very drought and heat tolerant. Native in the Chaparral Hills of Southern California. Is a plant from which you don't make coffee, but I guess the early settlers thought that the berries looked like coffee berries. I don't know where they saw coffee in cultivation, but that's sort of a mystery to me how this plant got its common name. But if anyone knows, let me know. There's one right there, that plant near the people right over here, that man standing there. You want to reach out and touch that coffee berry for us? That's it? Okay, thank you. That's Rhamnus californica. And this is a plant that prefers a little bit of shade and some moisture in the summer. It grows throughout California, wild, mainly in woodlands and forests. And it is, again, like so many of these others, kind of a half-globe green plant with dependable characteristics of just being dense. There's a plant called silk tasselbush, Garrya, G-A-R-R-Y-A, which, again, I'm showing a lot of plants with doyles, but it has beautiful, beautiful flowers, which look a bit like icicles. The flowers come out and are hang down, little tiny flowers on a stalk that hangs, and then when the plant is in flower, many, many stalks hang off each branch, and it looks almost like they're icicles. That's the name silk tassel.